Well, the real test on jobs could come tomorrow morning with the latest employment data. And our next guest says things will get worse before they get better. Now, he's David Resler, the chief U.S. economist at Nomura Securities. David, good to see you as always.
Good to be here.
Okay, I want to talk first, though, about the jobless claims numbers, because they actually did come in better than expected. A bit of a surprise for the market. Does that change your outlook at all, or no? No,
we've actually got one of the more optimistic guesses about non-farm payrolls tomorrow. We're looking for a decline of about 85,000. If that's turns out to be that, it'll be the smallest decline since the job losses started 2 years ago. So we're at least for the very near term encouraged on that front. And when you said earlier that we expect the employment picture to get worse before it gets better, actually, let me just correct that a little bit. We expect the unemployment rate to go higher.
The unemployment rate to go to 10.4%, right?
Yeah, as at the high point. But we think that it probably fell in November. So we think it's going to get better, worse, then better again.
David, with this job summit taking place, one idea that's been thrown around is a tax cut for small businesses. A lot of people would say, yeah, it is a good idea. Where does the money come from? One argument is you take some of the stimulus money that has not been spent and you spend it or you use it for that. How feasible is that? And is that something that you would suggest to be a good idea?
Well, you know, I think part of the problem that the administration's had is with its economic policies is that there's a whole heck of a lot of uncertainty out there about what kind of tax burden small businesses are going to face. The talk is that tax rates on the higher income earners, many of whom are small business owners, are going to be going up. Certainly the health care reform bills have that embedded in it, and we're destined for a reversion to the pre-Bush tax cut tax rates at the beginning of 2011. So I think it's created a lot of uncertainty among small businesses about just how much revenues they're going to have after taxes, how much profits they'll be able to have, and that's going to affect their hiring, and I think it's affecting it right now. Contacts I have in the small business world tell me exactly that.
Hey, David, let me jump in here. Obviously, you're looking for a much better number tomorrow in the non-farm payrolls. I hope you're right. That's good news for everyone. But yesterday, we got the ADP, which was worse than expected. That tends to have a bias to small companies. Is there a difference here between small companies versus big companies, and small companies still having a hard time?
Yeah, I think small companies are, in fact, still laying off workers and not hiring, and it's been the small companies that have generated most of the job growth in the early part of this decade. So we need to get the smaller businesses turned around. It's good news that bigger companies are laying off fewer workers and are beginning to rehire, and that's going to be a factor that's going to swing us to the positive eventually, probably early next year, on overall employment. But we need to get more job growth in this, and the way to do it is to create a better an environment of greater certainty about the outlook.
David, just you know, before we let you go, just paint for us your trajectory, because you said it'll get better, worse, and then better. I mean, better is the second time better going to be an acceleration or accelerated from the better this time?
No, unfortunately, I think it's going to be a very slow climb out of this high level of unemployment. We'll probably have an unemployment rate a year from now that's only 0.5% or so below where it is today. We might be down to 9.5. That's way, way too high. It needs to come. We'd like it to come down faster, but I think, frankly, the economy is simply not going to be able to generate enough growth in order to bring it down faster.
Okay, David, we're out of time.